Are you a sex addict? If you are a sex addict, then you are here in the right place and at the right moment. Because the Book of Light will save you from your addiction, because it will explain to you what sex really is and how do you reach that state of addiction. If you are not addicted and still enjoy sex, you should also be cautious and careful. Because there could be a quantum leap that changes you from an enjoyer of something to a slave of something. You could enjoy the pleasure of the senses. Wonderful, wonderful, every day a little more, this and that, I'm still happy. And suddenly, there is a quantum leap. And you become the slave of your senses and of your desire for sense pleasure. So, listen very well to what I say, because either you are already addicted, and that counts for any addiction, or you are on the way to it and you do not know it. So then, what is sex? It may shock you to hear that sexual union was never meant to be for the human kingdom or for humans. Sexual reproduction was only meant for animals. Nature agreed under protest, you may say. We fell into that trap, copying the animals who only have more or less sex one time a year when their time comes to reproduce, with exceptions. But we humans, we don't do sex only to reproduce. We love the pleasure. And so we have the anti-baby pill and all that. To enjoy the pleasure of the senses without consequences. Come on, be honest. We are not here to fool around or to entertain you, but to see the truth as it is. So let us refer to the matter of sex. This is very important, dear friends, also especially if you have children or if you have a teacher. Avoid priests, most of them are pedophiles, including politicians, bankers, and others, with exceptions. You better follow the teaching, dear friend. I take a quantum leap to a stage or a period in evolution many millions years ago, before, when there was an evolution for mankind without sex. They reproduced sexless. And so it will be in the coming root races, 6 root race. Just to throw that term at you, 6th root race. Then we will be again sexless. Sex is but a passing phase in evolutionary development. It was never meant to be for us. One day we will look with abhorrence back to a time when we reproduced by sticking and stucking the forms into each other. Dear friends, I'm not a saint. I'm not this or that. I just pass on to you the truth of the Book of Light. You do with it what you want. Nature followed the sexual line in humans, as I already said, under protest. Because it involves evil doing in our past karma. So it was the only way by which souls can find incarnation at present time. Let that sink into you and think about it. But when we grow and we are on the way back to the source, everything becomes more spiritual and we will become sexless again. And we will, of course, that causes a question, well, what then? How will we reproduce? Well, study the Book of Light, and we will also have our lectures about it. Dear friends, do not cling too much to sexual sense pleasures. It may haunt you and hurt you and punish you in future incarnations when everything has become more spiritual. Think of my words. Glory to the Book of Light. And when we hear in the Bible and in ancient mysteries about virginal birth, it means that the Spirit itself, it suffices to touch the female womb and to create new life. But even that method will be gone. We will reproduce in a very, very different way. Dear friends, 18 million years ago, mankind separated into sexes, into genders, into males and females. Prior to that, mankind was sexless, androgynous, reproducing in other ways than today. We copied the animals and we fell. And here we are, unless there is a saint among you, I guess we all have sex. But maybe we should not overdo it. Maybe we should have a partner that wants to grow spiritually with us. I'm no saint. Don't look at me as a guru. I have nothing to do with that. I tell you something. I pass on the perfect teaching of the Book of Light, Savior of mankind, second coming of Christ. I give you a daring hint about the initiation. After the 4th degree of initiation, it doesn't matter if you understand any word of that, what I'm saying now. You will unite with that energy and that knowledge, and something in you will understand that I point towards ancient mysteries. A 4th degree or stage of initiation. There was an outline of the future in the ancient mysteries to the candidate. By causing the candidate, his astral body, detached from the physical, to pass through himself what was to pass in the future ages of racial development. Dear friends, have you ever heard of embryonic recapitulation? During 9 months of pregnancy, this is the teaching of the Book of Light, the embryo goes through millions and millions of years of evolution. That doesn't mean there's no creation. But we understand something different by Elohimic creation than the Bible by wrong interpretation. Embryonic recapitulation. Beginning with the embryonical form, etheric, then stone-like, pebble-like, plant-like, animal-like, human-like, and after 9 months, normally growing, having no more, cannot grow anymore inside the womb in utero, leaving it breaking through. That gave you a hint to how the future race will reproduce, also by breaking through, unless you have attained nirvana. There's something else then. Now I have a sort of strange feeling because I pointed towards initiation, which is much too early to talk about it, dear friends. Let us talk about the sexual situation right now. Listen, if you enjoy something, be it eating, smoking, drugs, drinking, there is, of course, first, a certain pleasure. Otherwise, no one would do it. So, that pleasure keeps you attached. And when you are down and you're depressed or whatever, you remember the pleasure that you had, and you want to repeat it, to repeat the situation to escape your depression. So you take the drug, you do this, you do that, you drink, to eat. Thus you become more and more addicted by creating joy and happiness with outer things, an outer impact of sense pleasure and experience. That strengthens your astral Kama Rupa astral body, container of desires. And now something happens. Now you are not anymore boss over that vehicle. It is boss over you. And it demands more of it. Give me more. Give me more. And I give you more pleasure. And so you give it more, you yield to it. You experience more and more pleasure. Suddenly the organs of your body cannot take the impact anymore. Be it the sexual impact, be it the nutritional, be it the drinks and drugs and smoke and so forth. Then this demon, this astral demon, sucks you and draws you until it had enough of you and it goes somewhere else. And you are left then as a shell. But still, clinging to that shell, you experience all the pain and suffering of anyone who is addicted. Dear friend, in order to detach from that, if you are already in, so to speak, a sex addict, let's keep with sex. They escape mostly into pornographic attraction and so forth. And the senses rise through that, the pleasure senses and so forth. But there is no satisfaction. Mick Jagger sings it, I can't get no satisfaction. That's a genius song. Because there was one satisfaction, yes. But then it turns against you. And now we are here to free you from your sexual addiction, or to prevent you from diving deeper into sexual excitement, which always leads to perversion. And the next step is addiction. And the next step is suicide, and so forth, depression. Listen to these words. They come from the Book of Light, dictated to me by the Mahachohan. Om. And this Om was intentionally not so much in the direction of the Chohan, but to say to you, you are obsessed by demons. What I do here is I exorcise you. This was the Om of a demon that you may have already heard in your nightmares. Om. But the true Om is pure. Om. And I lift you from the Om to the Om. If you are ready to listen and to follow me, and no matter what your addiction is, it will liberate you. You will be free from it. Even if you fall on your path, you will be able to stand up and to fight against and against and against the dweller of the threshold. There we have another term that you may not have heard of. Doesn't matter. Just listen and understand that something that you essentially are not has right now power over you, but you gave it power. And you can take the power away. It may struggle, may say, no, I want to keep the power, leave it with me. No, but you are stronger. Because you see, it has to do with difference of vibration. Right now, when you have your addiction, you are on the vibration of that which addicts you, which tortures you. You are in its grip. But when you, without fighting so much against it, or denying it, or all that, that's all nonsense. It's a waste of time. Through the teaching of the Book of Light, you raise your own vibrations and suddenly it falls off from you. How about that? This is a true fighter. Who doesn't fight against something, but who just augments his own or her own vibration. That means, by studying the Book of Light, by meditating every day, you will augment your vibration, and the dweller of the threshold, the desire, the addiction has no more hold on you. If you fight directly against it, you have no chance. You have no chance. Leave it clinging to you. Don't say, no, don't cling to me, I don't want to be addicted. That's all nonsense. This is what the gurus tell you. They tell you, don't you worry, I will liberate you, I will do it for you. It's all nonsense, it's all fraud. You are the Christ in manifestation. And you alone have the power not to fight that addiction. That's a waste of time. To augment your own spiritual vibrations. And sooner or later, this being will look for another victim. It will leave you because the vibrations are, the difference of vibration, the gap, is bigger and bigger and bigger and larger, and it cannot be crossed any longer by that which tormented and which tempted you. Therefore, glory to the Book of Light. The Book of Light is an augmenter of vibrations from the physical to the spiritual and higher. Who can fathom it may fathom it. So now we come in medias res. The next time you feel a desire, you observe it. You will see by just observing something, not denying it, not saying it does not exist, no, just looking at it. You can try this experiment with yourself. You will see that it may vanish. It will come back, but you have won a first battle. One time you won. It works. I spoke with alcoholics. They said, I stood before the bottle and I said, if I say no now, just observing it, the bottle, it won't kill me. And I won a battle. I won that fight. And they did, and it worked. Next time they fell again. They drank. Sure. Rome wasn't built in one day. Let's say you feel the desire to masturbate. So what do you do now? Deny it? Or no, I'm okay, or this or that? No. You listen to my lectures. You observe the desire. You listen to the lectures. You listen to the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Oh, what a high vibration. and the desire will fall off from you, sooner or later. When that happens, there's no reason for you to jump 2 meters into the air and say, "Oh, I'm liberated," because it will come again. But you won one fight. Round 1, you win. So it may happen, maybe at once it will never come back to you. Depends on the intensity of the urge that you had and how often and long you yielded to it. So be aware that it could return, the temptation, in form of a thought, of a person, of a thing. You never know. When you meditate each day, soul breath meditation, get that little book. Get the little book, Divine Message from the True God. Begin with that. But if you get to the Book of Light, that you can see here in the PDF, you are saved because your vibrations will augment even with backlashes. Be strong. Continue listening to these lectures, and every problem will be solved. Not by denying it or by trying to say it doesn't exist. No. Yeah, they say trash in, trash out in America. And they sell you trash because that's a trashy lecture. Trash in, trash out. They don't know that you have not only the physical body, you have the etheric body, you have the astral body, you have the mental body, manas, rupa, and so forth. You cannot just put trash in, trash out. But you can thin, T-H-I-N, the impact. Glory to the Book of Light, Book of Books, and Savior of mankind. Om.
Once we were free, roaming through time and space, shining in cosmic rays, touching the sun. Nothing to fear, masters of destiny. That's what we used to be, you and I. But when karma called, we were meant to fall, 'cause we didn't obey the law. Rebels of the universe, rebels of the universe, that's what we are. Rebels of the universe, rebels of the universe, we've gone too far, too far. We pay the price, fighting indignity. One day we shall be free, you and I, life after life, we shall return again until we understand who we are. We are rebels of the universe, rebels of the universe. That's what we are. Rebels of the universe, rebels of the universe. We've gone too far, too far. But the day will come, and in the end, we will be gods again, again. Oh, rebels of the universe, rebels of the universe. That is what we are. Rebels of the universe.